it's Andre and it's time for another Friday Flying Update. And this time we're talking about some heat. Yes, finally the order from HobbyKing showed up. I'd been stuck in Canada Customs for an extra week, but 21 days, 3 weeks, whatever. So yes, this is the HobbyKing heater. Essentially it is a tire warmer, but I'm not going to complain. If you saw my little tweet or Instagram video earlier this week, I was testing it outside in -16 for a good 10 minutes or so, and it seems to work really well. I was working off a, that's supposed to be a 3S, one of the cells went down, so it's now a 2S, but that's a remote battery from my Turner G9X. And this bad boy lasted for 10 plus minutes, so it's settings between 35 and 40, 30 to 40 degrees Celsius. The only changes I've made so far is I put on a little XT60 connector versus the stock alligators, and that just makes the whole setup a lot nicer. I can run my 3S, I can run some NiCads, and for the 2S, which I prefer, I think the 3S is too aggressive, but in a pinch it's there. I can just, throw on an adapter, plug in my battery, off the races I go. I'm going to put the battery actually in my pocket. There's enough of a cord here between the remote bed and everything, so the battery will sit in my jacket pocket really nicely. On the inside setup of the transmitter bag, now I'm using the, what they call the pants. I mean, that's what they look like. I want to get the bigger one, but it's still on back order, and this works. What I'm going to do with this guy is I'm actually going to sew a little pouch or some kind of little clip or something to hold that wire down along the side for the one side of the element, and everything runs through really well. I've tested it outside, and all I did was, rather than put the elements down, I put them on the side, and the rationale is when I have my hands inside the transmitter mitt, like so, with the transmitter, my hands are actually almost in direct contact. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but so it's a little more comfortable, a little bit more of direct contact with the element. So underneath, my bottom of my hands will be getting warm, but not the index and the thumb, which are the ones we're working with when we're flying, correct? So I figured off to the side, I haven't actually stitched these in or anything like this. I think I'm just going to leave them loose and just route the wires. What I want to do is run a little bit of fabric along the sides and make some kind of pouch that contains all the extra wiring. As you'll see, there's the connector, nice automotive style connector. That's the thermostat going into the second element, which is great. And then the actual controller. And if I can do a little sewing and build a little pouch along the side here, I'm not interfering with any of the remote operations, because the little transmitter bags are quite as small once you get the 9X in there. But like I said, I was very comfortable. This weekend it's going to be brutally cold. I'll probably take either the Sky Mule, or I might just take the Fun Cub out again. A good winter plane, obviously, both of them, and try it out. I'm probably not going to stay out too long, but if I can get a real flight experience with the setup, and it does what it's supposed to do, I'm going to be a happy camper. We're talking Sunday, they're saying -31 before the wind chill, so that's cold. That's face-numbing cold. So, more to follow on that. I'm going to get my hands on my mother-in-law's sewing machine and see if I can stitch up something. So, stay tuned, and I'll keep everybody informed. In that order also were some stuff. Hey, look at that, spare cowl for the EFX Racer. There's the plastic under tray piece that came off last time. I never did recover that. And spare front piece. As I'm doing orders from HobbyKing, I'm throwing in orders for the EFX Racer, because I just know that eventually it's going to need repairs. And if you're watching my Instagram feed or my Twitter, or any of my social media feeds, you know I was fiddling around with what we're affectionately calling the floppy quad. I added some extra wood reinforced. It's heavy. It's a very heavy beast, so I'm actually going to come back and I'm going to minimize this thing a little bit more. It flew, but it was silly, and I don't even think this would fit in the car. I mean, it's a good little fun experiment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to actually reduce the overall length. I'm probably going to cut the big beams in half and just, get everything down a little tighter, and we're still going to throw the bomb package on there. James and I, HobbyKing had the egg dropper thingy, the candy dropper on sale, so we sprung for it together. So that's going to go onto this. So it is going to develop into a, it is going to develop into a summertime fun quad. If it doesn't work out as a quad, well, I got 4 motors and 4 ESCs. It could be a really awesome World War II bomber or something. But I think we like the idea of the quad because we can hover over top of the target and have some fun with that. So no promises for flying this weekend. If it's brutally cold, I'm not going to risk any of my planes or my digits. So if it is a case where we get out there, well, it'll be nice to see you out there. Cheers. Bye.